Hi guys and girls, Rose Burnett from Mind, Body, Soul Balance, and I'm out here at one of my favorite places. I've got the river flowing behind me, and I guess I wanted to talk to you today about, something really, I guess, kind of dear to my heart and kind of personal. And I had some triggers come up yesterday in terms of emotional triggers, right? And last night I found myself, I literally had, just get more comfy. I literally had like 3 or 4 hours sleep because I was just so wired up, right, which is so not like me. And I got up this morning, and if this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, I've also got my own body sculpting workout, total body sculpting workout, right, as well as my mind, body, soul balance program. So I'm always exercising, yeah. And I could have gotten up this morning and gone, you know what, it's way too hard, I'm so tired. And I didn't. I was like, totally recognized, and this is one of the keys when you're, if you want to get into a place of balancing out your emotions and as well as being, balancing out your masculine and feminine energies, it's about recognizing, right, when you're going, oh, okay, I think I'm a little bit out of balance and I need to rebalance myself. And so I headed straight to the gym, right? I headed straight to the gym because I knew I was stuck way too much in my emotions, right? I actually had to get into my masculine energy for a change and stand into my power. And then I also knew that after that, I'm doing a double workout, right? So I've literally just walked about a good hour into the bush. And I knew I also had to balance my feminine energies, which has come back to that state of balance with the divine and spirituality. And, I was watching something as I laid there this morning on Facebook. One of my friends, I'm going to do a shout out to Stacey. She got up there and... she was so in her emotional vulnerability. She did a live Facebook video, right, about some challenges she was going through, and often we don't recognize, even with some of our closest friends, what they're going through, right, because they don't reveal it. And I'm pretty open with my life. I never used to be, I used to be somebody that, totally struggled with emotional vulnerability just because of where I'd come from with my own family. And not my kids, but from the family with the parents and siblings and that kind of stuff, right? And the trigger for me, the trigger that came up for me is today is the anniversary, right, of when I got married, and that marriage broke down about 2 years ago, and I've done a lot of work since then. I've done a lot of work since then on myself to come back to a place of joy and peace and balance. And I don't want to repeat and recycle through the same old story. And yet sometimes it doesn't really matter how hard we try, stuff comes up for us emotionally. And it started triggering off a couple of days ago, and I was going like, what is going on? Like, seriously, what's going on? Where's this coming from? And then I looked at the dates and I went, oh, my body, like instantly, body, mind, spirit is tapping into that time. And yeah, recently, about a month ago, got divorced. I don't care. I can share, and I can share. And the relationship, I guess, for me, in terms of today, it was like, even yesterday, yesterday was kind of recycling through, I would have been, it would have been the day before I got married kind of thing, and what was I doing on that day? And knowing, I'll share something super personal with you, right? Knowing from what I know now, because there was quite a bit of betrayal in my relationship that I was unaware of, and broken trust. And knowing that when we got married, like, we decided to elope, right? So we had this celebrant up in far north Queensland, if you know where that is. So it was just the two of us, right, and photographer and stuff. And I can remember looking at him thinking, why is he so nervous? Why is he so nervous? I don't get this. Whether he thought that he was going to, I don't know, his life was over. Who knows? Who knows what goes through men's minds, right? And now I look back at it and go, actually, you stood before not only me, and you stood before God, and you recited your vows that thou shalt forsake thee for all others. And at that point, he'd already been cheating on me for 3 out of the 4 years that I'd known him. Yeah. And I think perhaps in that moment, did it sink in and there was guilt there? Or, I don't know, perhaps for going forward, he was thinking on all the things he was going to miss out on that he'd already been doing. Who knows? Who knows, right? But I guess that's kind of stuff that was recycling through my head. But also what else comes up is that level of, as much as you try and recycle, like not recycle through things, that sadness can come up about, I guess, lost hopes and opportunities and being disappointed by somebody. And it was really interesting. I was watching this film called The Shack, right? So if you're going through anything, right, in terms of trying to forgive someone, like I'd already done that, I already worked through that, right? But sometimes stuff comes up and you go, oh, maybe I haven't quite forgiven him as much as I thought I had, because I was watching this film, right? Sorry, my phone's just being really naff right now. Hang on, let's sort it out. I was watching this film, A Shack, and it's got Sam Worthington in it and Rada Mitchell, and it's about a family that you lose a child to violence, and how he goes on a journey, I guess, back to the place of where it happened, and he actually takes a spiritual journey in terms of forgiveness and coming back to himself, because he was in a deep place of hurt. And I was watching this film, right, and I was just like, tears rolling down my face, going, oh my God, I thought I'd sorted that, tidied all that stuff up, right? And I'm very spiritual, right? So I didn't, I've always known that I've been spiritual, but have tapped into it much more in the last couple of years. And I thought, well, I think this is actually a message from the divine to just release those final bits. And a message came through to me. And if you've ever been in a place where you've been disappointed or, you've tried your best, right? This message came through to me that said, it wasn't your fault. You stood there with loyalty, integrity through the whole relationship and trust, and it wasn't your fault, because I guess it was put on me that I was trying to run a business at the time, and he wasn't supportive of it, and in fact quite the opposite, but silently resenting me for it. There was just this push of. And when that happens, some of the questions that came up in those darkest moments is, why wasn't I enough? Why wasn't I enough? Look at me. Why wasn't I enough, huh? And it's not the question to ask yourself, because you're always enough, right? You are always enough. When that message came through to me that it wasn't my fault, it was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It wasn't my fault. And I am not going to blame myself for being me. And wanting to follow my passions and follow my dreams. And I guess I want to say to you is, don't ever let anyone dampen your spirit. I know sometimes it happens without intention, without us ever seeing it coming, right? Sometimes it just hits us like a bloody train or a bus. It just hits us, right? And how do we pick ourselves up from that? And I guess I come back to my point that I started off in the beginning of this video, is that we always have these tools. I don't care if you're by yourself and you've got no friends, or you've got nobody, right? And even if you're surrounded by friends and family, right? There's always this place of being, in terms of dealing with your stuff, it's your own personal journey, right? And you have to pick yourself up. But there's always tools. So I did the gym because I needed to step into my masculine energy, get out of my emotional side, right? And get back into my power, my personal power. And I'm out here today connecting with nature and spirit, because I know it's just going to fill me up with joy. And you do need to work on yourself, and you do need to release a lot of stuff, and often it's not about shoving stuff down. In the past I would have shoved it down, right? So there I am at 3 a.m. still trawling Facebook and God knows what else, because I was just so wired up, right? And YouTube. And it was about, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'll cope with whatever comes up tomorrow, And today I got up and went, you know what? Let's just feel it. I'll just feel it and release it out here, and feel it in the gym. I was seriously doing a hard workout today, let me tell you. There's some frustrations I got out of the gym today, but it was like, okay, cool, done that now, and here I am talking to you and sharing this, and as I'm walking along, I'm always thinking of what is the most integral message that I want to share with you. And it's not about being perfect. We all have within us these amazing talents, skills, experiences, and qualities, right? And it's about sharing whatever passion you want to share with the world. And if you've got a big dream, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do it, right? Or that, or make you feel like, their behavior is your fault. They make those choices. They make those choices all on their own. They don't need to do what they did. Particularly in my case, just be honest about it. Just be honest about it. And it's about when you go through those experiences, one, for me, it's led me to a place of just totally, I guess I can honestly say, falling in love with myself again. I don't think there was ever a point where I'd loved myself enough, and that self-worth, and knowing that, my passions are important and I'm going to follow those dreams. And, I've had such an amazing response, even with my YouTube channel. So much support, and every time, even if there's a little bit of doubt or I need reassurance, the universe gives me that reassurance. I woke up one morning going, oh God, is this going to work? And no joke, there was 5 comments in my email inbox and on my YouTube channel about how much people had appreciated the videos that I'd shared with them, and how much they got out of it, and how inspired they were, and it was just so beautiful. And, you know, I'm so appreciative of that, And I know that I found my divine purpose, do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a hard place to get to because you've got to allow yourself to get there, you know. And I'll share something else with you because I'm very sensitive in terms of, you know, because not only because I'm a Reiki, advanced Reiki practitioner, I'm a bit of an empath, so I pick up on people's energies, but it's also, you know, people closest to us can have the most important impact on us because we're vulnerable to them, right? And you know, about a week or so ago I had a coffee with a girlfriend. She's one of my closest girlfriends, but she was doubting what I was doing, and it went such to my heart. I drove home with such a heavy heart, right? And then I was like, why are you allowing somebody to squash your dreams and make you feel uncomfortable about them? You know what's in your heart space, right? You know what's right for you, and you always do. You always know the right path for you because intrinsically you trust your intuition and your gut and what your heart space is telling you. And so for about half a day, I allowed those feelings to kind of like overwhelm me a bit, and then went, no, do you know what? I'm just going to have a break. I'm just going to have a break from that relationship for a little bit and be super protective of my dreams and my goals, because that's, you know, that's where my passions are at the moment. And I can say that to you, is always be very protective of your soul light, your heart space and your dreams and your heart's desires about what you want to achieve in this world. And yeah, don't let anybody dampen your spirits. And when you do, when you know, always be mindful. And I'm just so in tune now in terms of my emotional, mental, physical, and spirituality in terms of when I'm out of balance and when I need to be tweaking. Right, always tweaking. And there's so many tools that you can use to do that. And if you want to find out more about that, you hop over to my YouTube channel. If you're already on my YouTube channel, hey, love you to bits. Yeah, and yeah, just subscribe and the videos will come out to you, or you can pop over to my website roseburnett.com and check out the Mind Body Soul Balance program, because there's so many ways in which you can balance and ground yourself. And yeah, be empowered. Don't let anybody take your power away. I just want to tell you that you're amazing. You are loved in this world, divinely protected at all times. Your dreams are really super important, and it's time to shine. So if you've been holding yourself back, don't believe that you have to be perfect or you have to be somebody. You know, there are so many ordinary people out there doing extraordinary things, and the only difference is they chose to take the step on their path, on their journey, and put themselves out there. So you have within you everything you need to be a success in whatever way, the shape, that form that takes, right? Whether it's creative, whether it's art, whether it's whatever it is, right? Whatever dream you've got, whatever passion you've got that you want to follow, just follow it. Just take those steps and don't ever let anybody sway you from your path. No, you will. There'll be times that often the hardest part is staying on the path, right? You know what you want. The hardest part is staying on that path. And just know that you can do it. You're very much loved. You're divinely protected. And yeah, all right. For now, much love, much light. Namaste.